an infrastructural hub. Kenya has been a security hub. Kenya has been a conferencing hub. Meaning we enjoy a special status, Madam Speaker, as a country, and this unique position must be appreciated by the leadership. And the President in his address, without prejudice, without anticipating debate on the issue of Haiti, on this, we need to understand how Kenya's position, how Kenya's image has been projected. First, over the last 1 year, Madam Speaker, we were a member of the United Nations Security Council. That is a coveted position which many African countries or many third world countries have been struggling to realize. We achieved it. And therefore, our position as a responsible member of the international community must at all times be projected, protected, and promoted. This, Madam Speaker, this can only come if we really appreciate that dynamic role of Kenya, Mr. Speaker, and I'm glad that the President has alluded to this, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, on the issue of defense and security, Kenya is in the midst of many countries that have been bedeviled by security challenges. Look at our neighbors. Look at what has happened in Ethiopia recently. Look at what is happening right now in the Sudan. Look at what has happened in the Congo. Look at what has happened in Somalia. It's because of this that, Madam Speaker, every effort must be made to protect our international border, Mr. Speaker. Both internal security and international border. And this is why, this is one of the areas that the President has also alluded to. Madam Speaker, the issue of provision of affordable health care is something that all of us are yearning for. Recently, we passed a number of legislations, and I hope this will inject professionalism, efficiency, and efficacy, Madam Speaker, so that those Kenyans, those I think today is a bad day for the members, Madam Speaker. Members are still consulting loudly, and therefore what we are saying, even that may not even make sense. I hope you will. Madam Speaker, the issue of affordable health care is a constitutional requirement, Madam Speaker, and this is one thing that the President has also alluded to. Madam Speaker, the issue of national debt. I'm glad you know that you have taken a bit of my time, so I hope you will, yes.
Kindly add him some time because he's been interrupted. Can give him another 5 minutes.
Madam Speaker, the issue of national debt. This regime inherited a struggling economy, and we must say the truth. I'm glad that yesterday the leader of majority has emphatically said that Kenya is not going to default, enjoying the league of many countries that have been degraded, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this is a reality. One thing that has given us leverage over the years as a responsible nation, Madam Speaker, is because of our commitment to our international obligation. Madam Speaker, the government should do everything possible to make sure Kenya does not default in our international obligation, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, without this, even the little that we have been enjoying, what has remained from high inflation, Madam Speaker, what is remaining from the high cost of living will be eaten once we default. Madam Speaker, the other bit that the President has also alluded to is the issue of digitization of government services, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this is also critical. We are living in the era of the digital world. This must be felt at the villages, Madam Speaker, and this is one thing that every Kenyan is yearning for. Madam Speaker, having said this, recently I was taken aback, Madam Speaker, on the conflict, in particular by the meteorological department, Madam Speaker, and the report that they gave. Madam Speaker, we, the people of Northern Kenya, have had a very challenging history. Recently, our area was affected by drought. Right now, we are suffering because of El Nino. Madam Speaker, we expected the President, in his speech, also to include the issue of El Nino floods, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, today as we speak, 90% of our region, Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, is completely cut off from the rest of Kenya. Madam Speaker, I know we don't have time and the provision to amend this. But Madam Speaker, we hope and we appreciate the government has declared the El Nino floods a national disaster. But Madam Speaker, that has yet to bring in any meaningful assistance to the region, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, we hope the ministry is concerned, the Ministry of ASAL, Office of the Deputy President, Madam Speaker, Office of the President, the Ministry of Infrastructure, will put their house in order and ensure that the people of Northern Kenya who have been cut off completely by the El Nino floods get assistance, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, it is this thing that is really, I know very soon we'll be talking about the outbreak of cholera, dysentery, and other diseases, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, right now as we speak, the main road from Nairobi, Mwingi, Garissa, Wajir is completely cut off. Even the little tarmac that we have had, Madam Speaker, has been completely washed away. Madam Speaker, we hope and pray that this issue of El Nino floods will be taken seriously.